Okay, so DC Comics just released its annual holiday special, and it opens with a 10-page Green Lantern story that is so bizarre that I need to talk about it for a few minutes. This is written by Dorado Quick, with art by M.L. Sanapo, colors by R.F. Prianto, and letters by Dave Sharp. The title of this story is Santa's Oath. John Stewart is returning to Earth from outer space, and he's got the most overly dramatic inner monologue. I've traveled the cosmos, fought gods, seen the birth, death, and resurrection of entire galaxies, and yet the spirit of the holidays eludes me. If Santa was real, I'd have met him by now. I don't know how they expect me not to laugh at something so ridiculous being delivered so seriously. John ends up in Metropolis for some reason and sees Toyman in a high-speed chase with Santa Claus. Toyman built his own rocket sleigh pulled by robo-reindeer, and they successfully force Santa to crash into a building. This is all for the sake of Toyman being able to steal Santa's magic bag, which can produce unlimited toys. Instead of going after Toyman, John checks to see if Santa is okay. But it isn't Santa, it's actually Mrs. Claus. She says that she's handling the deliveries this year since Santa is off on a mission with the Justice League, which is true, because at the same time that this was being published, DC also put out a 5-issue miniseries called Batman Santa Claus Silent Night Returns, a story that John Stewart is in, and yet somehow his takeaway from all of this is that he doesn't believe Santa Claus is real, and is about to leave this old woman and her reindeer on the roof of a random building. Thankfully, he very quickly realizes how messed up that would be and doesn't just abandon her in the middle of the night. Like, can you imagine living in the DC universe and thinking Santa Claus is somehow too far-fetched to possibly be real? Fifth-dimensional imps and alien gods are all fine, but not Santa? They have a nice moment where we find out that the reason John never believed in Santa is because all his Christmas presents were always from his mom. But apparently Santa and Mrs. Claus were just putting his mom's name on all of the tags of the presents they delivered, so as to reinforce the love and appreciation John had for his mom. It's kind of sweet, but at the same time, it's really weird that Santa and Mrs. Claus decided to selectively manipulate the relationships that some kids have with their parents. Anyway, the sleigh is trashed, so John decides that the best thing to do is generate a duplicate Green Lantern ring that lasts for 24 hours and give it to Mrs. Claus. But she turns it down, since Santa Claus already gave her a Blue Lantern ring. Now that their rings are boosting each other, it's time to go kick Toyman's ass. John makes a rocket sleigh of his own, and Mrs. Claus retrieves the bag of presents by using Christmas magic or something, I guess? I kinda wish we got to see Toyman use that magic bag. That could have been fun, but a scene like that would have taken up too much space in a story that's only 10 pages long. Toyman is very confused, but then John throws a Christmas tree at him, and his sleigh crashes in a fiery explosion. John also takes a moment to make fun of Toyman for being named Percival, which seems unnecessary, and not the kind of thing you want to do while hanging out with Mrs. Claus on Christmas Eve. In the end, they fly off into the night to deliver presents to kids all over the world. John asks if he'll ever be able to meet Santa Claus, which is weird because, again, John is apparently the only superhero in the world who hasn't met Santa Claus. Except for that other book where he probably met Santa Claus. But yeah, that's it. I'm glad we got to celebrate the holiday season with a new Green Lantern story. I just never expected it to be such a random fever dream. Tell me in the comments what your favorite holiday-themed comic book is, or take it beyond comics. What's something that you always make time to read or watch around this time every year? Everyone, have a great holiday. I hope the end of the year treats you well, and thank you for taking the time to watch. My name is Dan. We'll talk again soon.